Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, folks. I am Orange Hat Rambo. I got GFan84, Lorena Creole, and Mad Mardigan. Price is Right cannot join us, sadly, because, well, he's having issues, not with internet, but with automobile. So, hope he gets that fixed and whatnot. And I will be paying attention to Twitter if he gets it fixed in time. So, we're going to be talking First Blood Part 2. And how's everybody doing first? How's everybody? Okay. Apparently, G-Fan got shot by Rambo.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what did I miss? I wasn't looking. I wasn't on the screen. Oh, he's just gone?
He got disappeared.
Yeah, he just... Okay, here he's back.
There he goes.
But he was...
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's a lot like when someone invites you to a birthday party and you don't show, and it doesn't really matter. He's expendable.
Yeah, we're going to get to that one, too.
Oh, I
so
can talk.
How is everybody doing in the chat? We got Sentinel and Jazz Carpenter. Good to see you. G-Fan, how we doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Excited to talk about this movie. It's one of my favorites.
All right. Mad Mardigan?
I'm excited to talk about this. I wouldn't necessarily call it my favorite.
Yeah. Lorena, the lovely Lorena, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing quite good. It's been a crazy week, and glad to be here to discuss yet another fun 80s action movie that I love.
Indeed. Now, as you all know, I did my brief review for Rambo 2 and it is in the playlist that I have with the Rambo reviews and talking and discussion streams. Every discussion stream I have will have the brief reviews in the playlists, folks, for future reference. So always go to my playlists on my channel to see if there's anything that you may have missed. So you can always check out the brief reviews and then make sure that you set reminders for the discussion streams. So now that we got all that stuff out of the way, does anybody want to plug any content before we get going? Lorena first, if she wants to.
No, I'm good.
Okie dokie. Mad Mardigan.
Well, I can't now that she didn't.
Of course you can.
No, so just one thing. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central, bless you.
Thank you. Tried to mute, but it didn't work.
Sometimes you can't make it to the mute button in time.
I know, right?
So tomorrow at 3 p.m. we're doing a Street Smarts made for TV special. Mary Mayhem will be joining us as well as Justin Proper, and we're going to be covering the movie. And I swear this is the real title of it. Oh God, ... crap, I'm stranded. If you haven't seen the trailer for that I've made for it, please go to my channel, check out the trailer. Okay. It is epic.
That sounds interesting in a macabre sort of way.
3 p.m. tomorrow. Oh, it's crazy. We usually do Street Smarts at 3 p.m. on Tuesdays, but it's a special Saturday double feature.
Oh,
nice. G-Fan, anything to say?
No real plugs or anything like that. Not much really going on with my channel or really anything, but I am excited for Sunday because that's when the trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, finally.
Yes. I am super excited for that as well. I mean, they put... Yeah. But yeah. Alrighty, so Rambo 2. This movie starts with an explosion. As any awesome action movie does. Except that it's not the explosion that you're thinking of. It's a blasting explosion, which is a controlled explosion for people that are trying to do ore, clearing out rock and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Basically showing you what has become of Rambo. Rambo was arrested, as we all know, in First Blood. At the end, thankfully, they did not go the suicide route, as the book and the alternate ending did.
Right.
And it shows all the people sweating their asses off, banging on, using sledgehammers, banging on big ass chipper nails and whatnot. And one guy calls Rambo, and he's like, "Ugh." So then he gets called to the gate, and there's Troutman. And I gotta say, this was actually a very interesting talk, because this sort of reiterates the kind of is he on the spectrum or isn't he argument or
He
debate.
is.
Yeah, I would say that he is on the spectrum, possibly even high grade or high level autism.
100%.
Because he asks a very simple question after Troutman wants him to, or asks him about the mission that he wants him to do. And then as Troutman's getting ready to go, he's like, "Sir, do we get the win this time?"
Oh, it was so sad.
Yeah.
I know. It's like,
That
Yeah,
one.
it was.
yeah, it's a very simplistic question, but it's also one that really goes to the heart of Rambo's character at the time.
Yep.
Because remember, folks, Vietnam vets were not treated very well, and they felt that they lost that war, which they did. We lost bad, but anyway. And so he's like, "This time it's up to you." And it's like, "Yeah, you guys are going to win." So what did you guys think of the beginning sequence?
I liked seeing how they opened it. I haven't read the books or anything like that, but you see, Rambo, he's doing, hard labor, and as soon as you can see Troutman coming up, it's like, he's going to give him a deal that he doesn't really want to refuse. He'll just phrase it that way. And when he's jangling the idea, he's like, if you do this, you can get a presidential pardon. And in a way, I kind of felt like, yeah, pardon is great, but this is a Vietnam vet that you guys pretty much just hung out to dry. And even though I'd seen the movie before, it's still, you just have this feeling, not knowing how the movie is going to turn out. The same thing is going to happen to him, but his heart is so with, his brothers in arms that got left over there that he's going to go.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And also,
Jazz Carpenter. 1 second, Mads. Jazz Carpenter, you actually bring up a very good point here. Honestly, I was a bit sad for Rambo when he told Troutman that at least in prison he knows where he stands. Shows you how broken he truly was. And that is a good point. As a person who is autistic myself and has been in jail, it breaks you. I never went to prison. I was only in jail. But even that environment, which is not as serious as prison, it can still break you. Believe me. I know. Now, Mad, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, like I just really couldn't move past like that question that he asked about, are we going to win this time or whatever? It's like,
yeah,
why are y'all doing this to this man? Like, y'all, I get it. It was like the 80s. You know what I mean? Maybe y'all couldn't tell if, like, I don't know. It was just like, oh man.
Yeah.
Like Rocky couldn't read, but at least he could like think about.
Yeah.
Problem solve. Without rockets and bombs.
Yeah.
I don't mean to get all down. It's just it gets really bothered me.
No, dude, you're right. G-Fan.
Yeah,
one of the things that I noticed, especially in the beginning, is the relationship between Rambo and Troutman, and it's almost like he feels responsible for him because he essentially created him. He essentially molded him to do what he wanted, which was, kill as many people as possible. And, literally, being Green Beret, I mean, they were in the thick of things. I mean, they were actually behind enemy lines for a lot of times. So it's kind of funny that he goes to him for this mission too, even though he had all these other qualified soldiers that probably could have done it. It feels like he needs to do this for Rambo. He needs to give him some sort of vindication. And
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that about that relationship between the two. Essentially, he's giving him another chance because he sees what Vietnam had done to him, and then what prison has done to him too. And it's almost like he needs to give him another chance. That's what it seemed like to me.
But the thing is, though, he didn't pick him, though. I don't know if it's too early to talk about this, but John Rambo was picked by a computer.
No,
yeah, that's true.
That's in the beginning sequence. So
Yeah, like he wasn't picked by a Troutman. He was picked by a 1980s computer who picked the 3 best men possible for. There's not enough floppy disk in the world for it to be able to use analytics to pick people for this like specific of a mission.
No.
Yeah.
But it was just a beautiful time though in film where like everyone was so kind of caught up in like what is to come, like the future. Like even if the movie was set present day, they would still kind of push the envelope with what technology could do.
Well, nowadays you probably could have an algorithm that could do something like that, but I don't think it would drop to to 3 people.
No.
It probably dropped to like 50.
When that was said, I was just like, no. Oh, it's so good.
Soul Assassin. This chose Rambo.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So he gets back to Nam.
Sorry, I guess all Soul Assassins.
Yeah. So he gets back to Nam, and who is there to greet him but our good buddy John Kreese from Karate Kid. Martin Cove, everybody. Martin Cove. Give him a hand.
Yep.
Anyway, he greets Rambo. It's like, did you guys pick him because of Karate Kid Part 1 and you saw that he was in Nam and I don't know, you just wanted to give him that extra chops,
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it makes sense if that's the only logical thing that makes sense.
Well, after seeing the last season of Cobra Kai, I'm surprised a guy named Rambo wasn't there too.
I know, right? So he tries talking to Rambo and he's just ignoring him. It's like, dude, seriously, he doesn't care. He's here for a purpose. And we get introduced to the CIA spook, played by the actor Charles Napier, who plays Murdoch, the spook. Mm-hmm. And he opens up by basically telling Rambo a lie. How he did a mission, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines in Khartoum in 66. And it's like, okay, this is going to bite you in the ass later. And so they're discussing the mission of how many POWs there are. They want him to take a look at a camp and take pictures. If there are any POWs, get the pictures. Under no circumstances are you to engage the enemy. He's like, wait, photographs? I'm supposed to just leave them there? And he's like, again, you're not to engage the enemy. It's like, you picked the wrong person for this.
No. The computer picked the wrong person. I'm not going to let
the computer pick the wrong person for this. I mean, that's like, your computer must have seriously been, retarded, because, I mean, think about it. You want somebody like Rambo to just leave POWs rotting there. Not smart. So, hold on one second. Okie dokie.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Okay. So, yeah. He tells him that he's not, or he's like, "Can you handle this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he looks at Troutman. He's like, remember, he's deferring to Troutman during this, and Troutman's sympathetic too. That he's like, "I'm supposed to just leave him there." And Troutman looks down. He's like, "Yeah, son, like this is the case." And so then he's like, so then they take him over to the command center, the Wolf Den, as they call it. And he's going through the briefing. And the other guy's like, is he even listening? Is he even listening? And Rambo is just looking at all the equipment. And he's like, Indigenous Agent Kobow. The last words that Troutman said. And he's like, yeah, dude, remember, he may be on the spectrum, but you guys didn't know about that back then. But he's also not stupid. This guy was a Green Beret, Medal of Honor, military intelligence, whatnot. So yeah, he's listening. Especially to everything you said that didn't make sense. And I really liked the when they get everything going and he's doing the whole equipment thing, sharpening his knife, getting the camera clicking and doing the weapons and whatnot, all that. And then when they are ready to get on the plane, he turns back to Troutman. You remember when Murdoch said he was part of the 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines, Kontum 66? Yeah. 2nd Battalion was at Kipe Sank. You're the only one I trust. It's like, so that's when you know that Rambo he knows his shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, so it's something that, you know, I've ran into quite often. Like you can all, like anybody that's been in the military can usually tell pretty quickly when someone's full of shit or not. You know what I mean? Like the way, like just the way that they talk and the way, because there's certain things like you could study and learn and read all the Wikipedia articles you can to try to better, you know, fool someone. But there's just certain things that you're not going to read about. You're just not going to be able to pick up unless you've actually been there and have experienced it. And it's very easy to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
And I just love how I just love how he points that out to Troutman. And earlier, Troutman is like, Murdoch were having some words. He's like, you think is he going to crack under this pressure or when he goes back into that hell? He's like, Rambo is one of the best soldiers there is. And he relishes in the idea of winning a war that other people lost. Oh, and one more thing. What you call hell, he calls home.
I like that line.
I know. There were a lot of good lines in this movie. It's just that the movie was also objectively bad. I mean, this was a step down from an objective standpoint, as I said in my review, but I still enjoyed the hell out of this movie. Now, all that equipment, gear, and whatnot, you got the best gear that technology can do and all this stuff. So he's getting ready to jump, and he gets caught on the goddamn plane. And he cuts away all of the equipment.
Why?
Because he realized if he had held onto it, he would have died.
No, why didn't they, like, the guy at the door kept trying to like undo the thing or whatever to let it go. Pull him back in. Try again. There's a rope. Pull
You're going that fast in a plane. You're gonna try to pull a person who is already like 200 pounds of equipment and
better
man.
than what they were doing.
Good luck trying to do that with a scrawny spook like that guy.
Did he didn't have a knife? I just feel like it just seemed like
It
There
was
had to
meant
be
for plot convenience because
Well,
we
yeah,
knew
of
that
course.
Rambo was not just going to freaking take pictures. They needed to take away the camera and the equipment and the gun and whatnot
Yeah, I
to
don't know. I
further the story. That's basically what it was meant for.
feel like there
And
could
it's
have been
like, oh,
a better way.
and everybody at Wolf Den just wanted to freaking cancel the damn mission. There's like, we should just abort. It's like, no, give him a chance. He deserves the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
So, what did you all think? To have that set up with all the equipment, his knife, his guns, and how he's expertly turning the things on the gun and whatnot, and then he loses it all.
You know, it was funny to see because you already know, even with the loss of all of that equipment, the fact that he's still gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to get a little creative, but it's like he said in an earlier scene where, and I'm blanking on the guy's name, but he was just like, we have all of this equipment and this technology, and Rambo's pretty much saying, I thought the human brain was the
Yeah, the
best.
mind is the best weapon.
Yeah, mine is the best
True.
weapon. I'm like, he's exactly right. So I'm just like, yeah, he's losing all this equipment and it's kind of, aggravating and all that. But I'm like, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine.
Yeah. Jazz actually asks a good question here. Why would Murdoch lie? Well, basically, Mad Mardigan pointed it out earlier. To try to make you think, or to try to make Rambo at ease, to try to relate with Rambo and whatnot, to give him an idea that I know what it's like to be in the blood and guts kind of situation, except that Rambo saw right through it.
Yeah. He did it to, try to get on his good side.
Yeah, no, he just tried to be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Trying to impress the new guy.
Yeah, we're the same, right? We're the same, right? Rambo's like, I don't think
it's like,
so.
bitch, you're not even worthy enough to lick my boots.
Exactly.
Which is very funny. Like if in comparison, like juxtaposed to what's his name from First Blood, the sheriff, right? Who never talked about his military. We knew it because we could see it behind him, but yeah, he never had it. And then this guy is like, oh, I'm Superman, whatever.
Yeah, I know, right? So Rambo gets he's now boots on ground, and he's running through the forest, and he's checking his compass, and then you hear the hiss behind him, and he just grabs the snake, sees it's not venomous, just leaves it alone.
But it goes limp. Like, did he put it to sleep?
Yeah,
it's choke it out.
That's the thing. The snake that he grabbed was fake, but the one that came down was not. So I noticed it went limp, and that was one of the objective problems with the movie. They couldn't, or because back then you really couldn't have like animatronic snakes and whatnot. I mean, you could try, but not really. So, and yeah, it was bad play, or it was just, it's like, you shouldn't have just, Moving on.
There was an easier way they could have edited around it. He grabs it, throws it into the grass. They cut to it, to the snake in the grass moving. Look, can we be honest about this? The quality from First Blood to First Blood 2 takes a dramatic dip.
Yes, that's what I said. This movie is a step down.
Mm-hmm. It is. The first movie, it's just like I was completely engaged. This one, I was kind of looking at my watch, which is a little disappointing.
And it's like, to be completely honest, folks, Rambo 2 is my least favorite of all of them. It's my least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Now, then we get to POWs, where he realizes somebody's in the woods with him, and she then realizes he's on her, and then he gets her, puts her up against the thing, and is ready to stab her. Rambo! It's like, and then she starts speaking the worst way of Vietnamese that I can think. It's like, is that Vietnamese or is that fake Vietnamese?
Look, I don't know her
I
ethnicity.
I didn't know what I couldn't understand it. So
Yeah. And they
I
didn't
couldn't
have subtitles. That was the worst part about it.
Mm-hmm. That would have been nice instead of speaking Vietnamese, kind of like put subtitles at the bottom so we can figure out what the heck it is they're saying.
I know. And so she's like, didn't expect a woman, no. And it's like,
No,
I don't
not
think he
really.
was, no, to be quite honest. And so then I'm sorry. As good as an actress as this woman thinks she was, it was not the best character. Kobow was unfortunately not the best character at
No,
all.
she was dispensable.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
she was.
She was just
It
she
was
was dispensable, and it was as soon as I saw her, I'm like, yeah, she's dying.
yeah.
Yeah.
And folks, I don't get political on my channel, but when I watched this movie recently, before I watched it again tonight, it's like, why am I getting Kamala Harris vibes from this bitch? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm like, I just feel like I'm looking at Kamala Harris. She's just unlikable.
Carmella.
I don't care.
Whatever your name.
She's a fucking camel toe. There, camel toe Harris. There you go. Yes, folks, I went there. So sue me. By the way, if you want to pull my stream YouTube, I can start one right back up. I have one backed up just in case.
Just for the record, Google, I'm a big fan of yours. I love all your work, and I'm appreciative of you allowing me on your platform.
Just say,
Did you just kiss ass
Oh,
on my
come
freaking
on.
stream?
I will just say this, Google, I hold shares of your stock. I'm just saying, I can vote.
Anyway, folks, yes. Mea culpa, Google. I'll kiss the ass only once and that's it. But yeah. For some reason, that's the person who Kobow reminded me of. And it's like, ugh. So they start going, then they get on the boat. And this was good story, or this was good setup for later on, where they get on the boat and this pirate guy who is just, ugh, he's sleazy.
Yeah.
He's like, what about enemy patrols? And she asks, or she translates, and he's like, okay. Puts down his drinking, lifts up Russian equipment, freaking Russian RPGs, and I'm like, Russians in this movie? Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then they actually look at other stuff, and it's like she points it out, but it's the obvious Russians. It's like, yeah, I can read Cyrillic.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's like, what was your first guess? First hint.
It's a Cyrillic alphabet. It's like all those buttons you don't punch on a calculator. Yes, I stole that from Transformers 3.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's like everybody who's ever seen an 80s movie, we know what the Cyrillic alphabet is when we see it.
Exactly right.
Yep.
So then they get off the boat and then they get to the camp, and it's like, she's like, long way to go, or long way to come for looking at an empty camp. And then turns out, well, the camp's not that empty.
Nope, not at
There's
all.
a guy smoking a cigarette. There's a whore from a village. Well, that's wearing some pretty good clothing to be, a whore. But hey, folks, I'm just using the words that they use. And yeah. So moving on, because Rambo lost all of his equipment except for his bow and explosive arrowheads and other arrowheads and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
He's setting up. She's like, what are you doing? A bow, no sound. You're only supposed to take pictures. What about orders? No more orders, Co. It's like, I'm sorry, but this dude is, he lost all of his shit, so he can't really do anything. He has no camera to take pictures with. What did you think he was going to do? There's only one other thing to do in this sort of situation. Bring back the evidence needed. So he goes in, he crawls, he just happens to crawl under the hut where where the officer is getting it on with the prostitute from the village. I'll be a little bit more kinder with my word. But not that it is more kinder, but anyway. It's like, gosh, now I know why they did it in Rambo 4, where he just goes under or where he's around in that other area. Oh my God. Anyway, Rambo 2, staying on track. What did you guys think of or up to the point where I'm talking about right now? We'll start with Lorena.
In what way? In like the pacing of the movie, or in what's being told so far?
Pacing, characters, all of it.
The pacing seemed a little slow for my taste. Again, having though, aka the Vietnamese intel agent, she was just a disposable character. I'm just like, it just no. It just seemed to slow things down, that now he's got to drag her around with him. You know, so it was I was just kind of like, okay, just wake me up when they run into, some POWs. I'm just kind of waiting for stuff to happen. They had that long, involved discussion, on the boat. And he really didn't say anything that I expected him not to say.
Yeah. There was cheesy dialogue in that on the boat scene. It's like, what's expendable? And then he's like, what's this? It bring me good luck. And they did an unnecessary cut to her face close up and whatnot. And I'm like, why did you just do a cut like that? Ugh.
I was just, I really, honestly, I was just kind of like, I guess I can take a nap now while this is going on. Because it just felt like boring. It felt like filler to me. It didn't seem to give us any information that we didn't already know.
Exactly.
Right.
Mardigan.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys. Like, I guess there was just lulls in the pace. Like, it just really took you out of it, and you start thinking about, this really looks like it's on a backlot of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so many shots. It looked like in the Hollywood Hills or something.
Or they had like a screen, like they were playing, like later on, like when they're being chased or whatever, and the commander of the bad guys and his guys are at the edge of the water. Like you could tell
it was a pickup shot.
It was just a screen. No, it was just a screen that they were staring at. It was
yeah.
So, G-Fan, thoughts?
All right. So, obviously, the pacing of the movie, kind of went, downhill right then and there. And one of the things that I'm going to bring up, mainly because, it's something that's actually been on my mind, and something you brought up about, how, she didn't really speak Vietnamese very well. If it was Vietnamese, who knows what it was. Let's be honest, and this is kind of going on to a bit of rant here. Many times, and we're in this generation right now where they, flip out about any type of thing that's appropriate and stuff like that, and it drives me nuts. But at the time, many of these movies were filmed. They couldn't really find ethnically appropriate, Vietnamese actors at the time. So many of the Asian actors that you see in like many of the Hollywood movies of this time, they were from different ethnicities, whether it be Chinese, Japanese, Korean, whatnot. And, you see so many people like, flip out about like, oh, well, that, that wasn't really, the right casting and stuff like that. It's like, dude, what else are you going to do here? As an Asian myself, it's like, I don't know why people flip out about that kind of stuff, but yeah, as long as it's trying to be convincing, I guess that's okay. But like, if her character was a bit better developed, I think it would have been a lot better. But the problem is just her character itself was almost a complete throwaway character. It's like they just added last minute or something.
Yeah. So now that Rambo's in the camp and he gets in there, he finds the POWs. There's a spider crawling on one guy that's shivering from fever or something. Rats around another guy. I mean, these guys are in bad shape. This basically, and as I have said with all of the movies of Rambo, each and every one of them are awareness driven. They draw awareness of the times that they are done or that they're taking place in. The first one, how vets were treated when they came home.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is that the Viet Cong still had POWs,
Right.
our men over there as prisoners, because, which will come up to as, or when we get to that point, I'll explain why. Now, he sees one of them out and whatnot, and he cuts him loose and rescues him. And this guy is just freaking ragged, sickly, and whatnot. And they start getting away. And, well, he had to kill a couple of guys. And then he also had to save POWs' life because she was stupid enough to move.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, you idiot. You know that there's a guy walking around there, and you decide to move? Yikes. You just basically made Rambo waste a frickin' arrow just to save your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So then they get out, and, well, bodies are discovered, and it's like, oh, well, let's get the shit going on. But anyway, the POW's learning, or he's like, how long were you at that camp? A few weeks. I was there about a year ago, and they move us around a lot. And he's like, what year is it anyway? 1985. He looks at him like,
The way his face looked.
yeah.
They told him the year.
It's like, I've been there since for how many? When did Vietnam end again, folks? I'm sorry, I'm forgetting that.
75.
Around 75.
75.
Yeah.
He's been a freaking POW for 10 years. Holy crap. Sorry. Anyway.
That was just nuts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, he's been a POW for longer. I mean, the whole thing that we're going to get into takes place in 72. But anyway, so there's a chase going on, and Kobal decides to part ways with Rambo, and she tells him, you're not expendable. Because on the boat, he explains to her what expendable means.
And as soon as she said that, I'm just like, yeah, she's going to die soon.
Yeah.
Can we talk about his definition for
expendable? Yes. Let's do that before we get further in.
So what he says is, it's like I do a horrible Stallone, but I'm going to go with it. You're invited to a party, and you don't come, and it doesn't really matter. That's expendable. That's not what what? No, that's because you being an asshole, not showing up to your friend's birthday party. What are you talking about? That's not expendable.
I could do a better one than that. I mean, seriously. How you doing?
Hey, I said it was horrible. I'm just saying, like,
I know.
I just look at him. I'm like, why are they just taking advantage of this guy? Like, Troutman is the bad guy, the overall bad guy.
I wouldn't really see Troutman as a bad guy here.
Really?
But anyway.
He takes this person who has serious, like, emotional and mental problems, both before and after Vietnam. and he continuously uses him for his own gain. Whether he does it out of love for the country or for whoever, he's still using him when he knows.
Well, he also
the
knows that
effect that it has
Rambo
on him.
would not pass down or pass up a chance at this stuff either.
Yeah, but why ask him? You don't have to ask him. There's 2 other guys on the list that the computer made up.
He went to the person who he knows or he trusts the most
that he
and
can
knows
use.
would probably succeed.
Even at the detriment of the person that he's using.
Yes, because that is how the military worked.
But he wasn't
Back
in
then.
the military.
I'm sorry, what?
Rambo wasn't in the military.
He was temporarily re-enlisted.
No, I don't think
yes.
he was.
No, they said you will be temporarily re-enlisted, and because of this, there will be a presidential or a potential for a presidential pardon. So yeah, they re-enlisted him for that specific reason, to get a presidential pardon if the mission was a success. Which turns out in real life would have probably been an international incident.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they're chasing him, and Troutman joins the extraction team with Spook and Karate Kid guy. And they notice that Rambo has a POW with him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or they let him know, or the guys at Wolf Den let the Spook know, and he's like, what? And then he calls a priority order, and he's like, everybody out. And then he gets on the radio, I want you to abort right now. This is a recall. Abort the mission, leave him there, basically. And Troutman's like, so he lets Troutman, or the pilot lets Troutman know. He's like, I've been ordered to abort before pickup. And he's like, nope. And then the Spook pulls the gun on Troutman, and I'm like, honestly, I would have pushed your ass out the fucking window. Or out the side of the damn chopper. I'm sorry. This would not have happened. Or if I was Troutman, I would have pushed that freaking Spook out the damn window. Or why do I keep saying window? Out the damn chopper. And it's like, Rambo, kill him. But also, dude, you put this freaking chopper down and get him out of here. Now.
I'm just going to say, as someone who worked in Intel, I just laughed when you said the word spook.
Well, they call them or everybody calls the freaking CIA operatives spooks. So.
I know. They also use that in the Intel community too. That's why I'm laughing.
So they abort, and Troutman comes back, and Rambo is now captured again, and is like, well, Rambo, at least you're in familiar territory again, because you were once a prisoner yourself. But Troutman goes off on him, and he's like, what do you think we're doing here? It's like the same thing it's always been about, money. In 1972, the U.S. owed the Viet Cong $4.5 billion in war reparations, and we reneged. They kept the POWs. And he continues to talk about it, and Murdoch just doesn't want to hear it anymore. He's like, that's enough. We're going to forget this conversation ever happened. He's like, you have no idea what you've done. You're making a terrible mistake. And he's like, yeah, and what's that? Rambo. And Murdoch actually cracks a smile at this. I'm like, you laugh in the face of death. Brave man. So what'd you guys think about that when he came back? And now, I'm not sure of my history because I didn't really study the Vietnam history. Did we actually owe war reparations?
I
thought you said we did.
Question. I don't remember. Granted, it's been a number of years. I don't remember anything about reparations.
Google, don't fail me now.
I really, I really don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember hearing
I'm
that
looking
we
it
had
up now,
we
but
had
in the
today.
movie they do talk about the war reparations and the 4.5
Yeah,
billion. But yeah, did
I'd
America
never
pay reparations?
I had
I'm looking
never
it up
heard
now.
about that in history class.
War. All right, here's what I looked up. Did America pay reparations to Vietnam? War reparations made pursuant to San Francisco Peace Treaty with Japan, 51, included reparations amounting to U.S. 550 million, 198 billion yen, 56, were made to the Philippines. South Vietnam payment, International Red Compass. That doesn't answer my question. So, how much
No.
money did U.S. spend at Vietnam? The war in Vietnam cost the United States $843.63 billion. That's in 2019 standing, inflation and whatnot. Holy shit.
Yeah, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But did we owe them though? How much war reparations did America give Vietnam? All right, let's check this one. How much? Nothing. In theory, there was an agreement under which the U.S. would clean sweep all mines placed along North Vietnam's coast during Operation Linebacker 2 and pay $3 billion in compensation to the North, which back in the day amounted to half of Hanoi's nominal GDP. However, the last war or part wasn't really formalized. So, or due to that, mines were cleared by June of 73, but the money was never paid. Once Saigon fell in 75, the U.S. shunned the new Vietnam and never paid a penny. So in 75, this happened, but they said it happened in 72. We were supposed to pay them the 4.5 billion in the movie. So it's fact check sort of true, but not really.
Yeah, I didn't remember hearing anything about us paying reparations
Or having
when we
to.
started studying,
No.
or having to when we studied about the Vietnam War.
Yeah. Now, moving on, this is, or you see Sylvester Stallone basically chin deep in or tied to a freaking cattle yoke in a swamp filled with pig filth. And you'll see the bunch of freaking leeches on him. And
Yeah.
it's
That was
like this dude is gonna be infected in so many goddamn ways. How is he alive by the end of, or how is he even alive to continue life unless, well, yeah. So then the Russians come in, and then the officer gives Rambo a nice little punch to the nose, and the officer's like, "Give it a knife." He's like, "My friends here, well, they're not so hospitable. Me, I can be a nice guy if I want to." So yeah, and then he's just cutting off the leeches and picking them off and whatnot, and I'm like, not the best way to get rid of. I'm thinking to myself, not the best way to get rid of leeches, because you're leaving the jaws inside of his body. Folks, I did studies on leeches in school, and yeah, I learned a lot of weird things. They have 32 brains.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the stuff I've learned. So then he gets him out of there, and by the way, you realize Rambo's basically in a very, very thin. This shot was for all the ladies, because you saw freaking Sly Stallone's ass as he was being pulled out of the muck, and it's like,
of course.
yeah, but that is one dirty ass. I mean, he was just lying in a big steaming pile of shit. I mean, if women are into that.
It was not attractive.
But anyway, they're trying to get Rambo to talk, and he's like, or he tells him, I want you to make a radio, or the Russians like, I want you to make a radio call, tell them that you've been detained for espionage activities and condemned, and you will, or if they try it again, there's going to be a lot of problems, basically. Fuck you. He's like, so you wish to test your strength? Okay. Yeah. Swamp ass Rambo. So listen. Oh my God. Oh my. Megatron just won the internet.
Ooh. Mia Khalifa just might be into that.
That's big. Or I don't know if you saw this, Lorena, but Lethal Lightning on the Full Aussie a couple weeks back, he showed Mia Khalifa pick up her dog's shit with her mask and then inverted the mask and put it right back on.
Oh, disgust. Oh, ugh.
So that's what he means.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, and it's like that's why you get a freaking extra mask anywhere you go. Just oh my God.
Or bring a paper towel.
Yeah.
Where's your dog
bag? Bags. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
You're a freaking former porn star. You got thousands of bucks. You think you would be able to afford something like that?
Cheap out on that.
Well, considering she was only in for 6 months, I do air quotes saying that. But anyway, that's off topic. She was in there for a few years. Anyway, so they decide to put him up to a bunk bed without the bunk, just the skeleton, and start getting the electricity flowing and giving him some nice electric juice, so to speak. And they then relay that they've intercepted that communication of the recall order. And he's like, okay, or just make the call. They betrayed you, man. Your life ain't worth shit to them. These are the people that you're protecting. Why protect them? And I also did like one line. He's like, you gonna tell me your name? What's the harm that could come, or that can come from that? It's like, well, anybody who knows anything, you never give your name under interrogation, because here's the thing. If you do, and it does happen to get out in the media anywhere else in the world, well, now they have a person who can actually be blamed for an international incident. I mean, I'm not really queued up on military protocol when you're captured or anything, but I do know that you never give your name.
No, you give your name and your ID number. Like you give your rank, your name, and your like.
Oh, so you do? You can give your name. Okay.
Was it name, rank, serial number?
Yep.
Yeah. Name, rank, serial. Pardon. But anyway, so they bring in the POW that he rescued. And they're also heating up Rambo's knife while they're doing this. And he's like, we're going to give you a little memento. And then they just run the hot end of the blade down his cheek just a little bit. And I'm like, He's been trained to withstand pain. Luckily, they don't realize this.
I don't know.
And
can you train to I don't know.
To resist pain? I mean, to a point. You can, but when you go to unorthodox methods of torture, you're not resisting that. Also, when it comes to being electrocuted, you can't resist that. Your body will betray you. I mean, if you electrocute a person enough times, they'll end up freaking pissing and shitting themselves. Do not ask me how I know that.
Ew. Well, I did hear somebody describe that, someone who used to work as an executioner in Florida with the electric chair. We heard all kinds of stories like that.
Well, that's kind of one of the areas where I learned that from. Anyway,
yeah.
It's like, that's kind of where I heard it, because after they got done frying his ass, he just let it, or he ended up not getting rid of his last meal that night.
Well,
So,
no, that's
yeah.
that happens whenever you like someone dies. Your body
Mhm.
relaxes and you lose like you don't have any control over your.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm recently gotten into Game of Thrones. Small little sidetrack here, folks. That is one of the things that they always brought up in like the first 2 seasons. Why is it that when everybody dies, they fart? And I'm like, why is this relevant to the story? But anyway,
Shock value.
back on topic. They bring in the other POW, and he's like, put it in his eye, and it's the guy's not putting it in the other guy's eye, and it's like he's just he's going from one eye to the other, like he's trying to freaking decide which eye should I take.
It's
like,
a big decision. Like you don't want to pick the wrong one.
An eye's an eye. But anyway, so he's like, "Are you gonna talk? You gonna get on the radio?" And he's like, "Fine, yeah, you bitch." And so he gets on the radio, Wolf Den or Lone Wolf calling Wolf Den. I can't remember the number, 22056. Yes, I did remember the number. Ha! Anyway, Troutman's like, Johnny, where the hell are you? And we're gonna come get you. And then he's like, Murdoch. He's like, he's right here. Why am I hearing myself?
Not coming from me.
It's not coming from me.
Not me.
Weird. Anyway, so Murdoch, he's like, Rambo, I'm so happy to hear that you're alive. And he's smiling. And he's like, let me know where you are so we can come get you. Murdoch. And then he squeezes that radio, cracking his knuckles in the storm. I'm coming to get you. And then you see Murdoch's reaction, and it's like, oh, fuck, I'm dead. And that's when Rambo... Oh, by the way, during all the time that Rambo was being tortured, another whore from the village came in, except that it was not a whore. It happened to be a POW.
Well, we don't know if he wasn't a whore.
Yes, that is true. We don't. I mean, I did make a slight reference to another person that ended up, well, her nickname is Heels Up. But yeah, anyway. So she goes in, she kills an officer. She has a kind of like silencer machine gun type weapon that's not really silent.
Well, none of them really are. And like suppressors don't make it sound like what it is in the movies.
Yeah, I know. I've heard enough suppressors to realize that in real life. Now it drops it like maybe a few decibels, but it's still pretty freaking loud. But anyway, she's under the freaking interrogation hut, starts shooting people's legs when Rambo makes his move, and then he gets out with her. Sadly, the POW has to stay behind because, well, they're not making that mistake again. And they get out, and here's the thing, folks. There's a lesson to be learned by what happens next. Don't freaking promise to bring a woman home to America, and don't get involved when you're in an active combat situation because you never know when the unexpected might happen, and they blast that bitch.
Pretty much.
And which is exactly what happens. You'll bring me home to America? I think you make a good choice. And while he's getting his bow set back up, they just blast her, and it's like, wow, man, Rambo has a slight chance of happiness. Maybe might get some in the jungle. Rumble in the jungle, folks. Rambo style. But anyway, it doesn't happen. And Rambo then shoots at them, kills a few of them, and the guy takes off. Don't forget me.
Lord,
That's like cliche much?
Oh, yeah. I was just like, can she die already so the movie can Get back up to pace. Thank you.
In a very small part of my mind, it's like I feel very bad for thinking that, but it's like not even the size of an ant, and I'm talking those little ants, not the big ones. Megatron, Jesus. Ramboning.
Good one.
Always get oh god. Always get the money up front. What was the other one? Electrocuting folks, leeches, knowledge about oh god, what is this saying? Knowledge about silencers. Who are you, Orange Hat? I'm a person with many knowledge bases. Let's just say that Metal Gear sure referenced Rambo movies quite a bit, especially the torture scenes. Actually, you know what, the Oz, you're very right, because basically Rambo or Metal Gear Solid 3 is basically Rambo 2. So yeah.
By the way, can we just mention, because my girlfriend pointed this out as well, like the whole thing about her necklace, it was supposed to be her lucky charm.
Yeah.
It's not, obviously. And then he picks it up. I had to tell her, I'm like, no, it's not, because he's like, oh, I could use some of that luck. It's like, oh, I want to remember something, like have something to remember
his way
her
of
by.
remembering her.
Yeah. By the way, would not fit around his neck. It barely fit around hers. But like, just the idea of like he snatched it off her body reminded me of Obi-Wan snatching the lightsaber.
Obi-Wan snatching what?
The lightsaber from Anakin in
yeah. Yeah.
Because like, I'm gonna take this.
It's like, this is mine now, bitch. You don't deserve it.
Because they had, like, I would never touch it. Like, if someone says, "Oh, this is my lucky whatever," and then they get shot almost immediately after explaining how it's lucky, I'm not going to take it with me, because clearly it did not work.
Yeah, that's true.
Indeed. Megatron, good guess, but incorrect. I did not use Wikipedia. Let's just say some of the stuff that I know. Experience.
You're a Russian spy, aren't you?
Maybe Torverish. Maybe. Anyway. So he's now going on Revenge Rambo, God of War. And I gotta say, this is where the movie does pick up. And it picks up in an awesome way. Rambo picks off these guys one by one in like the most serial killer fashion ever. And I love it. What did you all think of it? What was your favorite kill out of all the one by ones that he did?
I want to say the guy who caught it in the forehead with the arrow and pinned to a tree.
The one that was going to shoot Kobal?
Yeah.
It's the dude that
was
exploded.
actually my favorite one. Oh,
hold on. Somebody's being an idiot.
Yeah, the guy that exploded. But I have a lot of questions about these explosive arrows. Why were they ticking like it was a timer?
Yeah, that kind of did annoy me. I'm kind of like, why would you
keep the chat going, folks? I gotta take this for a second.
All right, so the arrow. Listen, the way I figured that it would work, right? It would have to have some kind of the tip would have to like suppress, which would activate or like, set off the explosion, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it had this ticking sound like you had a timer. Like you had to get like it explodes at a certain time. But that's not Like, and how do you activate? Like, so that ticking means that he had to activate it every time, like before he shot it. because it wasn't just ticking the entire time. Like he didn't have the box or the package of arrows with him, and it's just, you know what I mean? Like the whole movie.
Yeah, very true. Also, too, like I mean, maybe that was more of the fault of the sound effects department there, but yeah, that didn't make any sense to me either when I saw it.
You guys are talking about the C4 tips, right? And the drill sound that they made.
It wasn't a drill sound; it was a ticking sound,
Ticking sound.
No, it was a drill sound because I just recently watched that movie. It was like a screwdriver sound.
No, a screwdriver sounds like zzz. This was clicking.
That's not the sound I heard, man. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up on YouTube. Because, yeah, YouTube is awesome, folks.
I mean, even if it was a drill sound, that still makes no sense.
Yeah, well. C4 arrows. Rambo. Rambo exploding arrows in real life. Interesting. But that's not what I'm looking for. Explosive arrow scene. Please tell me that this actually puts it up. Rambo with explosive arrows.
Yeah, I guess listen to it.
Yes.
It's like a rattle, like a rattling, like a rattlesnake almost.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. And I just watched this movie on YouTube because I have all of my streaming, YouTube, Vudu, Amazon Prime, all can coalesce into the same, or all of them in the same areas, which is awesome. But yeah, so I'm talking about before he starts using those arrows, he kills all these guys like one by one. He's camouflaged up against a tree in mud. He's shooting people under rocks. He's pulling people around, and then he has his knife above his head like this, pulling the person into the freaking cave area. It's like he's going stone cold serial killer. I love it.
The Predator move that he did, like Arnold did in Predator, like with the mud, that was awesome.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was.
I had to rewind. I did not see him.
I mean, it's like, oh damn. But yeah. Hold on one second. I'm gonna actually pull up the stream. We got 11 likes. Let's see if I can get up to 15, folks. Let people know that I'm streaming because I'm a streaming demon. But anyway, so also the how he just grabs another dude, freaking snaps his neck and whatnot. I mean, he goes off. Well, he also takes a strip of POWs clothes and uses it as the headband, which I also noticed.
Look, dude, like you can't be this brokenhearted like over a chick you didn't even get to second base with. Like,
yeah, I know. It's like you only got to kiss her once, man.
It's sad she died. All right, but come on, man. Like,
yeah, maybe it's just that jungle intimacy. Who knows?
Unless he's mourning the idea of settling down.
Oh, like
yeah.
So.
Yeah, the idea of settling down, of finally being at peace. I think that's what died for him.
Or he's mad over an opportunity to get some booty.
Well, that too. That comes.
It's the revenge of like he's taking revenge on the people that denied him that booty.
Soul Assassin, I swear to God, dude, that is good. I can't pull it up in here because it's not in here yet. Oh, yeah, now it is. Dude got ramblocked. But yeah, so then he leads them all into another village, and it's like, why are you involving innocent villagers? But he does it with a purpose. He kills a chicken and uses chicken blood and gasoline. And then he lights him up. And I'm like, yeah, well, he's in war mode right now, and he's killing everybody except for the villagers, but he's blowing up their huts, burning down their fields, also blowing up the reinforcement area as well. He's just going off on him. He's like, fuck it, you're all dead. You killed my girl. It's like, your girl for about what, 3.2 seconds?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand and why I didn't really like. It just felt fake. It's like he didn't really have like any kind of relationship with this chick.
Mm-mm.
I know, one kiss, that was it.
He's supposed to lose it like that. If anything, I would have liked for it to have been written where, maybe he saw one of the POWs that he was trying to save, and the Vietnamese like whack the guy. I can understand him being angry at that, but over this chick he barely knew, no.
Oz, oh my god, dude, seriously.
Well, now in his defense, though, he has been in prison.
Yeah, that's true too.
All right, yeah.
He had been in prison for years.
Oz, holy shit, dude.
Now, I'm not saying that he went without sex. I'm just saying he's gone without sex with a woman.
Yeah. I get you.
For me, I'm wondering, because of the way the editing and pacing is, if there weren't supposed to be more scenes with him and her.
I'm guessing there probably was. But
saying,
if there wasn't, here's how I see it. They set it up that he might have a shot at getting some of that and going home and having a happy ending, but they shoot it down because that's not Rambo's fate. Let's be honest, folks. Rambo is a soldier, he's a killer, and this is all he knows.
Rambo's
it wouldn't have worked.
Especially since he didn't get to know that booty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just basically going full-blown God of War on all these guys, slaughtering, killing, and blowing the shit out of them. And then he gets to that one guy that killed Cobal, the one that shot her, the officer, with his last C4 arrow. and it's like, run, little piggy, run. Also, don't forget to go oink, oink.
Megatron.
And this dude is shooting at him with the worst freaking accuracy from 40 yards. And I'm like, dude, how did you make officer? I mean, seriously, your aim sucks. How did you make officer?
Well, because, I mean, he's not relying upon his shooting ability, but his ability to lead men.
He led him into a slaughter.
Yeah, I didn't say he was good. I was just saying.
Hey, look at Pickett,
But anyway, so then Rambo's like, okay, now that you're staying still, are you ready to die, little piggy? Let the arrow fly. And he just blows that dude. It's like, did you ever want to make somebody disappear, folks? This is how you do it. Shoot him with the C4 arrow tip or tip arrow and watch the guts fly.
Yeah, no, so he's not going to be disappeared. He's just going to be in pieces. Feed them to a pig, but make sure that you shave their heads and pull their teeth and their fingernails just for the digestive system of the pig.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though. They didn't really go full-blown guts with that move. I mean, they showed some stuff flying off, but for the most part, that guy disappeared.
Yeah, I think they did just enough to make it awesome.
Mm-hmm. Now, then the torture guy comes in with the gunship, or not the gunship, but the helicopter with a big boomer underneath, and decides to drop it on Rambo. And then I have no idea why these idiots did this. They go down and just start down right to the water level and just start emptying their M60 into the water. It's like, are you stupid? You're just asking to be killed at this point. Because what does Rambo do? Jumps out of the water, grabs the guy, throws him into the water, gets into the chopper, has a nice little choke battle with the Russian guy, Yushin. And this was the worst fight ever. What did you guys think of it?
I wasn't too impressed.
I mean, that dude, when he goes out of the helicopter, did you notice the pose he made?
No, I sorry. I felt like there was going to be more to your sentence.
No, there wasn't.
I
I'm
don't
getting messaged by the idiot that tried calling me.
I just can't wait until we talk about the helicopter chase scene because there were so many reused shots.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, the door gunner on Rambo's helicopter shoots off one of the rocket launcher things.
Yes.
It disappears, and then the next scene, it is back on, and it's there the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Now, so after he gets the guy, or after he gets Yushin, the fucking torture dude, out of the thing, and Yushin, while he's out flying out of the chopper, literally tucks his legs up like he's doing a flip. And I'm like, Ninja Russian! Sorry. I just had to. It's like, go Ninja Russia, go. Go Ninja Russia, go. But anyway, is it Ryan Johnson? What? But yeah. So he is getting up ready to stab the pilot, and the pilot just freaking bails. So then Rambo goes on a mission, blowing the shit out of that POW camp. And he, as he's doing it, he does that telltale scream. He's like, ah! It's like, dude, you're enjoying this a little too much. Calm yourself, man. Focus. You don't want to kill the POWs. And believe it or not, he actually does a very good job. And he gets down, he takes the M60, he starts going off on people, killing everybody left and right, rescues the POWs. And that's when the gunship shows up. And they have the chase. The worst chase ever. I'm sorry, folks. This was a bad moment for this film. And it's the Russian commander that's the one. And they don't really establish that because it's like, well, where else would he be? I thought he would have been at a camp, but whatever. And they shoot the chopper down a little bit. And Rambo's pretending he's dead. And then the guy takes his, he relaxes his hand off of the joystick. And it's like, how did Rambo know he did that?
I don't know why he waited so long to shoot the guy. It's not like they cared about wasting rockets up to that point.
I'm sorry. If I was the Russian, I would have blasted a damn thing just for good measure. That's what I would have done. But hey, that's just me. I'm sick like that. Comrade Ninja. But yeah. So Rambo just goes, he's like playing that. Time to die, motherfucker! Boom! And shoots him with the rocket launcher and then calls Lone Wolf. He's like, arriving or prepare for emergency landing with POWs. And Murdoch's like, oh fuck, he's almost back. I'm going to hide now. And then Troutman just takes command. Y'all heard him, prepare for POWs. And it's like, ooh, shit. So they arrive with the POWs. And Martin Cove is standing there with Troutman. Glad you made it. Glad you're all right. Crack. Oh, smack. Oh, it's like, yeah, dude, you fucking left him for dead. You're lucky he didn't just blast you to freaking pulp with that M60 right there. Now, I'm not sure about actual protocol, but when Rambo pulled the M60 off of the chopper, do you think there should have been somebody like MPs or whatever to stand up and say, put it down, you're on a friendly base right now?
Well, no, this wasn't like remember, again, this was a CIA, almost like a black op. Like, so there wouldn't be a lot of, like, whatever military support that they have would be minimal.
Yeah.
So then Rambo goes into the command center and just starts shooting. He's like, you see Troutman run in, you see freaking Murdoch flinching in the back, and Troutman's like, oh fuck, what is he doing? Because I'm willing to bet Troutman's like, oh shit, he didn't just shoot Murdoch, did he? And Rambo's just shooting, and then he just lifts the gun up. Ah! It's like, why? I mean, it's macho, I get it, but why?
Is it macho? Like, I think
That's
the
how
macho
some people
thing
would-
would be not to waste ammo. Be considerate of the next person that may have to use that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Proceeds to kill more computers than Windows Vista.
Oh,
By the way, like, he has every right to be mad at those computers. I mean, those are the things that picked him for this mission.
Mhm.
yeah.
Because
like,
again,
fuck your
that's something that
technology,
happened.
man.
That's something that happened in this movie. Was that?
It's like, fuck your technology. This is what real freaking war, or this is real war.
Floppy disk.
And and then he finds Murdoch sniveling in the back. Rambo, I was just following orders. You know the drill. I didn't know it was good. It's like, and Rambo just walks up to him, grabs him, puts him down on the table. Mission accomplished. With his knife up like he's going to stab the dude. And he's like, ah! And then he just stabs her right in the next to his face. And it's like, you know there's more out there. You know where they are. Find them, or I'll find you. And I'm like, ooh, damn, dude. Murdoch, you better... There's only one way that you're going to live. It's either you get freaking Rambo arrested, like, right then and there, or you're probably going to die later on in life.
Well,
Because Rambo will literally come in the dead of night and shoot your ass if he finds that you freaking abandoned your duty. So then him and Troutman are having a good talk. He's like, they'll give you another Medal of Honor for this. And Rambo looks at the other POWs, the one he saved, gives them a small salute. And he's like, give it to them. They deserve it more. And
why?
Well,
Because they got
feels
caught.
No. Well, dude, they fought, or they helped him fight off a freaking gunship.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know, but anyway. And Troutman's like, the war and everything may have been wrong, Rambo, but for God's sakes, don't hate your country for it. And this is the best line that was dropped in the whole freaking movie, dude. He looks at him and he's like, hey, I'd die for it. Then tell me, what is it that you want? I want what they want, gesturing to the POWs. And every other guy who came over here and spilled his guts and gave everything he had wants for our country to love us as much as we love it. That's what I want. And this idiot just doesn't want to stop messaging me. Oh, yeah. I'll have to block his ass for about... Oh, it's not him. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, what'd you guys think of that line? And give me 1 second here.
I mean, it didn't. It was nothing compared to First Blood. His delivery in the sincerity of what his last speech or whatever in First Blood just hung over this entire movie. You know what I mean? Like, just cannot look past the complete lack of quality or like dip in quality of the overall movie, and it almost feels like it feels a little like a betrayal to the first one, in my opinion.
Yeah. And that's understandable in a way. But I also but I'm asking, what did you think of that line?
Which one? Sorry.
The one where he says, I want what they want for our country to love us as much as we love it.
It's okay. I mean, it makes sense at the time and for whatever went through, but I guess it didn't resonate like what happened in the first.
True, it doesn't, but in the movie alone, I think it's still a good line. G-Fan, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually did like that line. To me, that one made sense especially for the context of this movie. The fact that it didn't like, how Morgan said, it didn't resonate nearly as powerful as in his monologue in the first movie, but I still see the value in what he's trying to say. I see that is a struggle for many vets. So I did like that line.
Lorena?
I am so sorry. My sister just texted me.
It's okay.
Catch me up. What was the question, please?
What did you think of the line between Troutman and Rambo where he asked him, what do you want? And he says, I want what they want, and what every guy who came over here and spilled his guts and gave everything he had wants, for our country to love us as much as we love it.
I love that line. Here's the reason why. One, for the fact that my uncle was a Vietnam vet, and he would tell me of just the blatant disrespect that he would receive when he came back. And then I had friends who deployed over for Desert Storm. And when they came back, a lot of them were like, you know what? We don't want the kudos. The respect that you're giving to us is what you need to give to the Vietnam vets who came back, and you didn't give them that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how that really hit me, because it's like, it's a shame that he didn't had to say that, and that was the mentality, in this country.
Indeed. And then Troutman's like, how you gonna live, Johnny? Day by day. And he just walks off into the sunset, so to speak. And roll credits. So now, folks, we're gonna get into the out of 10 ratings. Starting with the lovely Lorena. Out of 10, how would you rate Rambo 2? Or First Blood 2?
I'm giving it a 6.5. It suffers from that sequel syndrome where it's not really as good as the first one, but I've seen other Rambo movies that were far better than this one.
Yeah. Mardigan?
I'm going to give it a 4. I'm being a little generous. I think that, seriously, like, compared to the first one, it is such, and because I've never seen the first one before. I watched it for the last stream. Like, I was just in awe of how much I loved that movie. It was so good. I bought it. I loved that movie, and it felt it was so disappointing to see the second one, and it just felt like a betrayal of how great the first one was, and it just, I think I know, like, a lot of people are like, oh, you can't let the sequels or the remakes take away from the original, but like in this case, like it because knowing what is to come, watching the first one is just, oh man. So I mean, there was enjoyable things about it, like the dude getting blown up by the arrow, but everything else that I enjoyed was all like the bad effects, the dialogue that's just cringe at points, and the helicopter having pieces of it get blown off and then reappear, magically. And then at one point, Rambo's helicopter was behind their helicopter shooting, but then they went back in front. Like, what?
Yeah, no, that was kind of weird. G-Fan.
All right, so objectively, I'll give this one probably a 5. Objectively. Now, subjectively, I actually give this like an 8. This was actually the very first Rambo movie I ever saw. And it wasn't until years and years later that I ever saw the first one. And yeah, it completely changed my view of the rest of the movies forever. But fun fact, when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, they only really showed the second one on TV.
Mm-hmm.
They hardly showed the first one. And it was because of a lot of the things that they were talking about. Actually, in the TV versions, a lot of times his monologue was cut short in a lot of the viewings too. So you never got the full monologue. It was kind of disingenuous too. So yeah, it wasn't until I think I was I was in my mid-20s till I actually saw the first one in its entirety, I should say.
Alrighty, as for me, objectively, I was kind in my review. I gave it a 7 out of 10. There are a lot of issues, but I can amend after discussing it more. I would actually give it a 6 out of 10 to be completely objective. I would give it a 6 because there are a lot of errors in this movie. There was continuity errors. There was a lot of problems, and it just goes to show that they could have, this movie felt like it wasn't really, it was planned haphazardly, and there was just, it could have been done better, but whoever was behind the camera, the cinematography, unnecessary cuts and zooms and whatnot, there was a lot of problems. So yeah, 6 out of 10 objective. Subjective, I would put it at about an 8.5 to 9. Mm-hmm. And moviegoer, my third tier, is on entertainment of value alone, I would put it about a 9 because there are lags in this one. There are parts where it does get boring or takes you out of it. And I blame Cobal, the woman. No, I'm just kidding. I mean,
you're not wrong.
I know the woman just met, or women don't belong in Rambo movies. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm sorry, channeling Lethal here. Yeah, I'll just tell Lethal I channeled him a little bit. But anyway, yeah, her character did, of all honesty, she was the weak link of this movie.
Yeah, I think they waited too long to put her in the fridge.
Yeah, I mean, blasting her, do not forget me. It's like, okay, I'll steal your necklace. But yeah, so that is going to wrap this one up. I honestly thought this was going to be a longer one, but you know what? No.
There wasn't as much to talk about as the first movie. The first movie was so fucking good.
I know.
It was amazing.
The fourth and fifth will probably be longer discussions.
Which one is
third
the one
one
in Afghanistan?
That's the next one coming up.
That's the next one.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's gonna
I like that one.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun time.
So yes, folks, stay tuned for 2 weeks from now where we will discuss that. Next week is a very special versus stream, which was originally going to feature the full Aussie, but scheduling conflicts and other reasons have changed that. So I'm only going to have 1/3 of the full Aussie. Lyndon Hall, however the hell you want to pronounce Hall. He's going to be on along with Mara Jade, Ian Slater, and let me check to see who else is going to be on it. But yeah, versus streams, and my friend Caroline from Facebook. So she was on the last versus stream as well. So yes, stay tuned for that one. It's going to be next Friday at 9 p.m. as I always stream at 9, and it's going to be Brie Larson versus Kenzie Taylor. Who is the better Captain Marvel?
Is that really a question?
That stream was created simply to spite Marvel and Brie Larson, but I am looking forward to discussing it with some folks and whatnot because I do want to discuss it. It's going to be a good discussion.
Okay.
Anyway, folks, that is going to wrap it up. I do want to thank everybody who joined in the chat. My friend who lurked in the chat, I know she was watching, Cassie. Thank you for dropping by. FMA the Oz, thank you for dropping by. Megatron the Inevitable, thank you for dropping by. Soul Assassin, who else was there? Jazz Carpenter. I think that's a friend of mine that lives in my hometown here. RC from the NYC, thank you for dropping in. And I will, Jungle Love Denied.
Hey, RC.
Yeah, thank you, man, for coming in. Memes of Destruction. PCP is a hell of a drug. Yeah, I think, yeah. Memes, you always come in with the best shit, dude.
He's got some good ones.
Yeah. Soul Assassin. Khalifa was in the shit. Oh, God. Gosh, man. I really should make this a staple. Just going over highlights of the best freaking comments.
Yeah.
Who else was in here? We had memes, FMA, Megatron. Is there anybody else? Yeah, Jazz Carpenter. Why would Murdoch lie? He asked a very good question. He actually put some very good questions and whatnot. And the Sentinel was also in here, and that is as far as it will let me go. God dang. And I believe that's because that's where it started. But anyway, folks, thank you all for joining and watching for as long as you did. Mad Mardigan, Lorena, G-Fan, thank you for joining me. Yep. And we'll see everybody in 2 weeks as we discuss Rambo 3 and one of the most insane field medic sequences I have ever seen takes place in that movie. But we're going to discuss that when it comes out. Anyway, folks, this has been Orange Hat Reviews and Panel. Have a lovely night. Have a good day wherever you may be. always remember to kiss the person right next to you. Mad Mardigan, I'm not going to kiss you.
Asshole.
Also, folks, stay humble.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, this is embarrassing. It doesn't want to end the broadcast.
Oh, here.
Oh man,
Yeah, the person
having
next to me is
performance
a cat,
issues?
so
Okay.
This is awkward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to come on to StreamYard. I'm gonna mute my freaking laptop so this.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, good. I did that.
Is it okay if I just like go? Like, what happens to us?
Huh? I don't know.
Awkwardly
What
just
happens
sit
to
here.
us? I don't know. Just give us a second, folks. At least I didn't pull a freaking raging rhino. You know,
Oh, what did he do?
he always kicked his own self out of the freaking.
I've
Kicked
seen
himself out of his
I did
own
it
freaking.
last night.
people.
I left my own
You did it
stream.
again?
Well, no, I did it last night. I forgot to shut it down. I had to go back in and shut it down. I
Oh
just
my
left.
God.
I was going to go watch WandaVision.
Alrighty, folks. Now that I'm in StreamYard and I'm gonna end. So have a good one, folks, and stay humble.
yep.